Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Osterberger. We're here in Deer Park at Brock's new Craft Training and Assessment Center in Deer Park, Texas. I'm with Brian Narramore. Brian is Chief Human Resources Officer at the Brock Group. Brian, thank you so much for having us.
Hey, thanks for being here. Excited.
So Brian, lots to talk about. Let's get right into it. Tell us about this new training center. Talk about its scope. What are the capabilities here?
Sure, this is a 3,000 square foot center. We'll be doing multiple things. The first thing is we'll be doing assessments. So as we hire and attract talent, we bring them in through our staffing centers. Staffing centers qualify the people. They send them down to this space. We can validate the assessment of the skill set of the employee, as well as do all of their drug screening, background checks, fit testing, as well as any required training of our customers' requirements.
And Brian, let's get into specifics. What are some of the crafts that you're doing training for here?
Yeah, so we currently are doing all the soft craft training, so it's scaffolding, insulation, paint, and asbestos abatement.
So Brian, we talked about training for maybe some unskilled workforce. What about skilled workforce, upskilling those craftsmen as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two strategies as part of the Training and Assessment Center. The first one is really focused on current available talent in the market, the skilled people. So the first thing we want to do is assess their skill level and make sure that we're hiring people that are qualified and competent to perform the work. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to tap the unskilled labor market by finding green people off the streets where we can bring them in and give them skills. The third strategy is exactly what you're talking about, is that's to take those and be able to upskill their skill sets, taking them from a level 1 insulator to a level 3 insulator by providing them hands-on training as well as classroom sessions.
So, Brian, thanks for covering all the crafts that are going to be provided here, training provided here. I did want to ask you another question. So, Brock, are there other facilities that Brock has that offer the same capabilities as this facility?
No, this is a unique standalone opportunity for us today. This is truly our beta test. If we can prove this concept out here in Deer Park, we will expand this to our other staffing centers across the Gulf Coast.
And Brian, so why in Deer Park?
Well, Deer Park for us is home base. The Houston area is kind of our bread and butter of where we are from a market segment perspective. It's also our highest volume staffing center, so it just made perfect sense to be here in Deer Park.
So, Brian, recent Brock news is the acquisition of Aegion Energy Services. Of course, that includes Brenderson, Schultz, and Allsafe. Brian, that really takes Brock into the hard craft side of things. Talk a little bit about that. Is there a chance for this facility to maybe offer some hard craft training down the road?
Yeah, down the road. So our initial strategy is really to bring the Aegion Energy Services businesses and integrate them into the Brock Group. And the initial strategy is to take our SIPA services out to the West Coast. We will slowly bring the hardcraft business to the Gulf Coast and up into the Northeast as well. But that's not a primary focus for us today.
Got it. And Brian, you talk about Brock, 75 plus years, certainly in the softcraft space, Brock has shaped the way that industry operates in the softcraft space, given its history. When I think about Brock and what a name it is, where is Brock headed in the future?
Yeah, so a great question. So we started 75 years ago in Beaumont as a coatings company and have through the years added all kinds of specialty softcraft services and capabilities. We found our sweet spots in the niche on the SIPA services, so that's where we started. Our most recent acquisition of the Aegion Energy Services takes us to the hardcraft, being able to offer mechanical services. So I think what you're going to see is a bigger, broader Brock that can offer multiple competencies to our customer base.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for having us out. Certainly shows Brock's commitment to the region, and thank you so much for having us out.
Thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it.